The story of us falling in love with my best friend. 5 years ago, way back in grade 9 when I was still trying to find my place in a new school full of new transition, I met my best friend. For the purpose of this story, I'll call her Peyton. Peyton was in my gym class on my team for softball, and being my usual introverted self, I was standing by myself in line not talking to someone. That is until I turned around and noticed the anti-possession charm from the TV showed supernatural drawn on the arm of the girl standing behind me. In a moment of pure instinct, I turned to her, pointing at the doodle, and tried to ask her if that was, in fact, the anti-possession charm from the hit TV series. Of course, once I got the first few words out of my mouth, my brain caught up with my actions and I stood there, sputtering and pointing for a solid 2 minutes, thoroughly making things awkward. Before I finally managed to spit the name out, the look of relief that crossed her sun-kissed, freckled face was almost as amazing as the blindingly beautiful smile that made her whole face light up, and from that moment I knew I was hooked. She laughed and told me she was so nervous as I sputtered on that I would accuse her of devil worship, a reality that I was all too common in our small town. But then, when I finally found the words, she was so thankful that I was in fact just filling my free time watching gorgeous boys on Netflix. By the time that class was over, we had quickly become best friends, a connection so instant it was as if we were platonic soulmates. We found that not only do we have the same pastimes but also body type, likes and dislikes, world views, interests, and family life. Peyton accepted everything about me without a moment's hesitation, and her bottomless passion for everything we talked about had me following her every word with an undying devotion. Now, those of you who are still with me, I direct your attention to the town that all of this happened in. Ferguson, Canada, where's that? In the middle of nowhere, about an hour away from Toronto, and surrounded by rolling hills and quaint little farms, the perfect breeding ground for straight with Christian propaganda and an aversion to diversity. I had no idea that the warmth that spread through my chest when I say my dear friend, or the tingle that her touch left on my skin, could be anything other than friendship of the purest kind. Not until the summer months crept up on us and they were high tank top hugged. Her curves haunted me as I imagined her soft lips pressing up against mine in the dead of night. I could no longer deny the butterflies that filled my stomach when her honey-filled voice called my name, or how I was constantly searching for the smell of the tropics and buttermilk that clung to her skin. That summer I faced the reality that bisexuality was now another label I could use to define me, and I had fallen for the most used glitch in all of history. Coming out didn't scare me half as much as the fact the closest person to me, Peyton, my best friend, was now the unknown owner of my heart and mind. I did what all people did in the situation: withheld my new realization and feelings from the person of my desire and hoped that it went away before I ruined my friendship. I told myself the reason I noticed when she changed her shampoo was because I was a good observant friend and not because it was her scent. I thought for to calm myself down during a rough night, I laughed off any implication that the reason my eyes constantly wandered to her was because I had a crush. Instead, saying I was trying to figure out how to tell her she had little pieces of paper in her hair from an unscheduled nap the class before. I denied myself and my feelings until finally the summer of grade 10 my feelings fizzled and I was able to throw myself into other relationships without having Peyton buzzing in the back of my mind while I tried to commit to my partner. Friendship with Peyton was a swirl of cuddles and inside jokes that makes you feel as if you were the only person around. It was frustration at her cluelessness and 3 in the morning phone calls because one of us is breaking down. It was supporting and fights and makeups with a lot of tears. It was whispering into the phone so we would not wake our parents when the phone calls lasted into the early hours of the morning. But friendship with Peyton turned into secret kisses behind closed doors and gentle touches while cuddling when we thought no one was looking. Friendship with Peyton meant that the chill of February in my last year of high school was suddenly warmed with the rekindling of feelings for the girl who will forever remain my best friend. It meant realizing that instead of a small flame, as it was before, it became a wildfire burning out of control and threatening to consume me whole, and the wildfire was now called love. I was the only one able to kiss her, to get close to her lips. Even when she decided to experiment with dating, I was still the only person who felt the softness of her lips on mine. All summer I tried to indirectly tell her she was the light of my life, that she was all I thought about at night. When I went away to college, I tried to tell her that I feel most at home when she whispered into the phone late at night when I was too stressed to sleep, and when she told me that she had a boyfriend, and the words I had been trying to say almost jumped off my tongue is response. I pushed down the feelings of her to tell her I was proud she finally felt brave enough to reach this milestone. For more parts, subscribe.